Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the first half of the final films of the Mission Impossible film franchise. Ethan Hunt is back now. This movie is pretty solid. I mean, it had a very difficult filming experience because it started filming 2020 and got interrupted by the pandemic, and they took a while. They had to do breaks. They had to spend more money for protocols and didn't get finished filming until like a year and a half later, but the result is pretty solid. Tom Cruise, you may not agree with his religion or his what he's all about, but he is a terrific film producer and entertainer, willing to go the distance for his audience with lots of practical action stunts and things like that. So this movie has Ethan Hunt returning and going rogue because of a new threat. A villain from his past named Gabriel is now basically has a new power, and everyone's after a set of keys that go into each other, and they don't know what they unlock, but Ethan recruits his old teammates back. He's got Luther and Benji, as well as a new pickpocket named Grace, and they have to basically go into and do this new mission. This might be the most important mission of all. Now, a lot of people really enjoy Mission Impossible Fallout. I personally thought it was just okay. It has some of the best action in the series, but I didn't like the story because I felt it was a little bit recycled from the fourth film, you know, villain, nuclear bomb, yada yada yada. I do like the terrific fight scenes from Fallout. I feel like Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is a little bit underwhelming in comparison. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's like a shootouts and chases and a couple of fight sequences, a couple of large scale set pieces, but they all feel kind of like just, I don't want to say generic, but they don't feel like, oh wow, this is a set piece, I'm going to buy this movie and watch it again. Because the pacing is terrific. This movie is almost 3 hours long. It's about the same length as John Wick Chapter 4, but it went by so quick, fast experience. I was hooked by the interesting story. The story is really great this time. Also, the film harkens back to the original film. We've got the return of Kittredge from the first film, as well as Luther, and sleight of hand stuff that was in the first film, as well as an action sequence on a train. So it almost feels like the movie is definitely going full circle. However, some of the elements are a little bit weird. There's some clunky dialogue here and there. Underdeveloped characters. Benji and Luther don't get to do much in this movie. There's also these two agents from the community. They're like a group made up of like all the different heads of the American government bodies, I guess, that are chasing Ethan, and I don't even know their names, but they barely get anything to do in the movie. Maybe they'll have a bigger role in part 2. And we do get a new sinister villain in Gabriel, who's a really great screen presence, but also like his henchwoman star in the making with Paris. She's like this deadly female bodyguard who uses a sword. She's like really deadly, doesn't have a lot of dialogue, very strong, silent, and cool. I do feel like Grace, the new character, she's a pickpocket, definitely gets so much development that it overshadows the rest of the characters. But the movie at least doesn't feel incomplete. It is a part 1, but you're getting all the action and story that you need for one movie. Other than that, yeah, the movie's pretty entertaining. Definitely a big screen experience to be taken in. Definitely, you know, I personally think Fallout's just okay, and this one is okay too. You know, the movies are kind of feeling, they're not getting too ridiculous, but there are some weird humor moments in here, a couple of plot convenience moments in here that kind of, you know, hurt the film a little bit for me, kind of like the stair sequence in John Wick. So even though, you know, it's not perfect, but it's really robustly directed, and I really enjoyed it. So I give Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 a 7 out of 10.